Now, just to top it off here, this now comes after Secretary of State and dual citizen over there, Anthony Blinken, is set to blink his way all the way to Turkey amid his Middle East visit to Jordan and Israel, where he will, quote, underscore the importance of protecting civilian lives in Israel and maybe Gaza Strip too if they have time for it, according to the United States Department. So this is just incredible. I mean, Erdogan's right on the money. He's even saying that Israel has been openly committing war crimes for 22 days, dare I say, years and plus. But the Western leaders cannot even call on Israel for a ceasefire, let alone react to it. Yet they're not stopping. Yeah, they're not stopping. These people are on PCP and they're going for it. Now, what you don't hear are the casualties on the Israeli side, since they've now entered into the Gaza Strip with all the booby traps everywhere. You don't hear about that. You hear about Iran now, saber rattling, as they call it. I think that the nuke scare that we've been talking about for almost 2 years is going to come at behest of Iran. There it is. They're going to surround Israel for the stand down or for them to be taken out, or the cabinet that is, and that's when the reset happens. All right, so we'll talk about that at a later date as we continue now into real international. Over there in France, they're having a second heart as the Napoleon 2.0. Macron does not like critics, especially when they're critiquing Israel. There's a new bill now proposed just today, a bill to punish, so-called punish critics of Israel with prison time and massive fines. An insult committed against the state of Israel is now punishable by 2 years of imprisonment and a fine of 75,000 euros, which I believe in US dollars is about $250,000 at this rate. That's correct. Well, members of the French Senate, who have nothing better to do except, just punish the people and eat croissants, have now introduced a bill to criminalize criticism of the state of Israel. Punishable up to 5 years. You heard it right. With hefty fines that they're not going to tell you about until you get caught. Well, 16 French senators who are total saboteurs proposed a law that seeks to punish the critics now of Israel with 3 tiers of prison time and fines now up to 100,000 euros. And these people are going to have, I tell you, escargot on their face when the truth comes out about this. Now, those who contest the existence of the state of Israel, this is how they're going to get you now. In UK, similar in this next story. Anyone who contests now the existence of the state of Israel by one of the means set out in Article 23 that no one reads, shall be punished by 1 year's imprisonment and a fine up to 45,000 euros. Now, also, in addition to that, insult committed against the state of Israel. If you say a joke, bad taste, or anything that portrays Israel in a bad light, by any of the means set out in Article 23, that's just very infamous. You shall be punishable by 2 years imprisonment and fine up to 75. Now, here's the final kicker. Those who, by the same means, have directly provoked hatred, violence against the state of Israel shall be punished up to 5 years imprisonment and fines starting at 100,000 euros. Isn't this something? What kind of country has France turned into, except for now just one big prison? Isn't that the case? And I told my cousin out there, you vote for Le Pen. Do not let Napoleon 2.0 get in there. As now dissent is now being outlawed over there in the UK. Let me tell you more about it. Well, now UK is poised to brand dissent as, quote, extremism. Yes, that's right. A new report has come out and saying that anyone who undermines the country's situations of values, that is, could be targeted under controversial proposed regulations. So if you don't bow and do your pilgrimage to Mecca and you're caught taking a double-decker bus and not a, American little camel there, that's not patriotic and you can be imprisoned. Every government official is now reportedly concerned that the new definition constitutes a, quote, crackdown on freedom of speech. Gee, you think? Even the blind don't need Braille to read that one. Well, here's a bit more about it. Well, the UK is now considering, they're flipping a coin, they're drawing straws, they're playing, paper, scissors, rock, and considering adopting a new definition of, quote, extremism that includes anyone who undermines the British institutions or values. The irony is killing me and giving me a sore throat. It's so bad. Well, The Guardian reported on Saturday that, citing internal government documents, that extremism is the promotion or the advancement of ideology which aims to overturn and undermine the UK's system of parliamentary democracy, its institutions and values. You see, this is from Michael Gove's Department of Levelling Up Housing and Communities earlier this year. Now, here's what the source document marked as, quote, official and sensitive. Yes, UK has very sensitive nipples in their constitutional legislation coming out now. Its potential to, quote, frame a new, ununified response to extremism. We will stop it at every pore. It shows its teeth. So what they're meaning, prepare everybody here on the West for the so-called lone wolf terroristic kind of events that are going to be coming our way, so they can use that just like they did in 9/11 to shut us down even more. Yeah, you better believe, like that ginger girl at the top of the show was trying to tell us. Well, parents who lost your kids in the Trans-Tifa shooting, are you happy now with your government? Are you happy now, Christian people? See, the dimwits don't understand. It's the security apparatus doing this. Stupid B word she is. Now, every government officials are permanently concerned that the new definition constitutes a crackdown of freedom of speech. Yes. Even brain dead people are coming back from the morgue to tell you, yeah, you're right. One unnamed official told The Guardian that the definition is too broad and will capture legitimate organizations and individuals. Yes. God, and these are stupid people who are saying this. You don't have to be smart to understand that. Anyways, so that's what's happening now. So you have France and England are saying, no, we don't want to hear it. We don't want to hear it. And this is why in the financial sector that BRICS now is taking precedence, which I'm going to tell you about. But as this is happening, Australia is saying, well, what about us? We're different. Well, not exactly now. They're now under the microscopic, just crosshairs of scrutiny. Well, this is coming out of the Daily Mail, as now Melbourne over there in Australia is home to Nazis and far-left activists now. Did you know this? Which is total bunk because the CCP runs it, and that it was the city that was voted the most multiculturalist city in all of the world as of 2015 and 2016. Now it's the home of Nazis and far-left activists, now leaving Jews facing a tsunami of hatred like they've never before experienced in Australia. A Nazi is born, not a star, but a Nazi is born now. They're just now naturally getting born everywhere. Do we see? Just like in LA days ago, the Nazis threw a rock at the Jewish deli over there in LA at Cantor's. Can you believe this? San Diego, the Nazis were leaving leaflets. They were anti-Jews and anti-gays. Can you believe it? The timing. Sincerely, the ADL. Okay. Anyways, Melbourne has now become the epicenter, they say, of anti-Semitism, with Jewish locals experiencing a tsunami of hatred. Community leaders who are familiar with the matter say, well, children are being bullied in schools for being Jewish, and Nazi sympathizers are using the guise of empathy toward the Palestinian plight for spreading hatred in vitriolic comments. That's right. The Davir Abramovich, the chair of the Anti-Defecation Commission over there, told the Daily Mail Australia that the current environment for Jewish residents in Melbourne was the worst he had ever seen following the Hamas attacks on Israel. That, yes, Mossad was a part of, but we're not recognizing that right now. So in the decades that I've been fighting the anti-Jewish hatred, when I'm not the one causing it, I've never experienced anything like this frightening wave of vicious hostility, and the tsunami of hatred shows no sign of abating, he said. My phone has been ringing off the hook with reports of Jewish scrolls being ripped off doorsteps, kidnap posters being defaced, Israeli flags taken off cars and urinated on, and Jewish businesses being degraded. Unbelievable. And how are we to know that he's not behind this? How does he just happen to be on the beat of all these incidences that are happening within minutes time? Isn't that interesting how it's always the Anti-Defecation League that is just Johnny on the spot there, just like the ATF and FBI, or all these shootings like within seconds. In fact, some say the day before. Australia.